I believe all of us, we have our history, we have our past. Sometimes we have our darkest part of our life, and sometimes we have the good side of our life. I'm Steven Mbaya, coming from a family of 3 siblings. I'm the firstborn. I was raised in Kakamega County, but I've come to learn more about life here in Kajedo County, Rongata Rongai. Immediately I joined university. In life, I've come to understand that people have different abilities. All of us, we have different potentials. But what I've come to realize is that self-confidence is something that is cutting across all of us, and it will help us to move great milestone. I have a good story that is going to motivate you, is going to encourage you, is also going to boost you in terms of your plan in life and what you aspire to do in life. First of all, throughout my journey of life, I'm here specifically to motivate you and encourage you. Good. My name is Steven Mbaya, born and raised in Kakamega County. I'm coming from a family of 3 siblings. I'm the firstborn, and I've been raised up by a single parent, the mother. I've undergone the secondary education, and my life is actually in 2 ways. First, we have the darkest part of my life, and also we have the good side of my life. I remember back in the days, immediately after finishing my Form 4, I passed, and since I was coming from a humble background, my mother worked so hard to make sure I get the highest education, and also to go for my further studies to better the life of our family. Having this in mind, I was so happy first for passing exams, and when I was called to come to the university here in Nairobi, African Nazarene University, it was something that it brought a new chapter in my life and in the life of our family. It was a great motivation for the sibling, for the community, for the village where I was coming from, and even for my friends whom we've gone through hell together when we were young. Now, immediately after finishing my Form 4, my mother worked so hard, and she looked for money for me to go to the university. But I promised her, when I go to the university, I had that passion of going further to do other extra things apart from studies. So when I got the opportunity to come to African Nazarene University to do Bachelor of Education with Special Needs, I also got the opportunity to hang around with people who are doing great things in the society and in this country. And I came here in the university with an open mind to make sure that apart from education, there is something else I'm doing to better my life and also to take care of myself without necessarily depending on my parent. You understand that sometimes when you're coming from a humble background as a man, you need to look for ways on how you are going to gather resources to make sure that at least you are able to cater for some bills that just to relieve your mother or your father in terms of burdens. I believe that we also have a lot of things that we as students, we undergo. Sometimes we lack money to feed, sometimes we lack school fees, sometimes we just lack pocket money to make our life easy in the university. And this is the thing that was in my mind. I wanted to help my mother in different ways, and that was the reason why I was going more to do hustling opportunities. And now I remember back in 2016, now after joining joining Africa Nazarene University first year, I did my first semester and the second semester, then I went for a long holiday. Going for a long holiday, I said no, I will not go home immediately as other students normally do. I decided to go and seek for jobs, at least to get something. When we start the next semester, I'm quite better and I have some money to pay some bills in my house. Now, I didn't choose jobs because you understand, majority of us students, when you are in the university, you regard yourself that you've achieved so best, you have achieved so much in your life, like you see you're doing a good course, and that's the reason why majority of us, we end up dismissing other job opportunities because they're not in the professional description that we are already undertaking. Me, remember, I was a teacher, but now I needed to do something that was going to earn me some money, something that was going to make my life more better and to be more independent than depending on my mother. I went around Rongai, looking for jobs. It was not easy, as you know, our country. You will seek for jobs, but very few doors will open for you. You will knock in many doors, but only few, and sometimes nil, will you get an opportunity to showcase your skills. And it's for this reason that I remember very well. I remember vividly going to certain company just close to Africa Nazarene University. It's called Sigma Feeds. I went there to look for a job, and the job was carrying some commodities, those bags of feeds, and taking them to these lorries that were coming to pick. And apart from that, I went there also to look for any other job that was available in that particular company. Now, on this day, I wake up early in the morning. I remember in my house, I had 100 shillings. I had nothing, by the way. And I remember very well, I wake up early in the morning at around 6. I went to Sigma to look for this job. After going there, I was chased the first time. I was actually dismissed. That's the word I can use on this description. The second day again I went there, I was dismissed. The third day I went there, I was dismissed. I gave up. I decided to look for an opportunity to another place. I walked from Ongata Rongai here. I went all the way to Karen. I heard that we had some jobs there. There's a school there. The Indian school is for the Asians. Avocado. The school was so good. It's a prestigious institution. And when I went there, I remember very well waking up early in the morning, preparing my documents. And you know, when I talk about the documents, I'm talking about the class 8 certificate and the Form 4 certificate. Those are the only thing. Okay, now at Avocado, we arrived there early in the morning. I found there were so many people looking for those opportunities, and the opportunities are very minimal. But we had more than 100 people lined up there looking for that single opportunity that will be available in that particular institution. My friend, here I learned a lesson. As a student, a first year student from Africa Nazarene, I started seeing things differently, perceiving life differently, and also interpreting opportunities in this country in a different perspective. So here, I was among those guys who came to look for those opportunities in that particular institution. We had graduates, people who've done different courses in the universities. They graduated long time ago. They didn't have jobs. We had some engineers there. We had people with different courses. People of all calibers were there. Guess what? The only opportunity that was found, it was for, I remember it was for a teacher, and a guy, by good luck, he got the job. The rest were dismissed, including me. I was among the guys who were dismissed in that particular instance. Now, within the same institution, we had some mijengo. There was a construction that was already going on there, and we had some contractors who were looking for people at that particular time. They were looking for people to do casual jobs there. You know, you've heard of these mijengo people, and because a good number of us, we didn't get the opportunity in the first instance. Now we had to shift our attention again to the mjengo part of the opportunity. Now all of us, we changed because when you remember, when I was going for this job, I was dressed well, like a professional expert, and somebody who is coming from the university. I really needed that job, plus other people. So you can imagine how I was dressed. Very smart, ready for the job. But now, immediately after being dismissed in the first instance of my professional job, now the second instance was about the mjengo people. They were looking for mjengo people. And remember, you have nothing in your house. You only have 100 shillings. And you cannot go back in that house again to sit. So life is terrible. You can't be patient you can't be patient in that house. Even your life, it is not going to be easy in that particular house that you are living in, because there's nothing there. So I remember very well going with some guys there. We changed, then we made ourselves to be dirty, so that at least we appear that we are ready to do the mjengo job. So we joined the group of mjengo guys, and these guys were so many also. It was not a small number. It was about there were about 150 people there lined up for this mjengo job. So we are here, a group number of us, a very good number. I've already changed. We've dirtified ourselves. So we are going for this opportunity, for mjengo opportunity. So in those groups, a contractor came and he started pointing people. You are the corner there, come this side. You are the corner there, come this side. We yule mwenye uko pale kuja huku. We mwenye uko pale kando kuja huku. I was not getting what was going on. The criteria that this guy was using to pick people for this job, I didn't get it well. So there, in those groups, this contractor, when he was picking people randomly, I didn't realize the criteria that he was using to pick these people. And so, me with some guys there, we started asking ourselves, what is really going on? Which is this criteria that these guys are using to pick people randomly? Now, as a young man, I saw maybe I was short. Maybe this guy was looking for guys who have muscles. So I stood on a raised floor, so that at least I can be seen with all my muscles, ready to do the job, with all my toughness in the face. Huyu mtu wa mjengo naye contractor, jameni, aliniangalia lakini akasema wewe hapana, with some guys there. So they only picked a few who went on that side. The rest of us tuliambiwa twende home. So you can imagine. So again, we lost the second instance of the job opportunity. Now, I've gained friends there. I've gained now friends, because now we were speaking the same language. You know, when you have a problem and you get another person who have the same problem, you tend to be, the problem unites the two of you. So I got some friends, and now we started hyping each other. Hey guys, where can we go now next? Where are we going to look for the job opportunity again? So personally, nikaambia we should not give up. Tuendelee kutafuta kabisa, tuendelee kutembea tukikam. All the way from Karen, we walked from Karen tukikuja mdogo mdogo towards Rongai. Now along the way, now we decided to get into these hotels, from one hotel to another, regardless of the status. So we started there at Masai Lodge. At Masai Lodge there tukaingia kwa hotel ya kwanza, we looked for a job, wakatuambia hakuna kazi. Tukaenda next to the next hotel, tukaambiwa hakuna kazi. Tukaenda the petrol station, hata kazi ya usafi hatukupata. Tukatoka pale tukaenda pale Masai Mall, tukaulizia tu kazi hatukupata. Tukatembea hivyo all the way from Masai Lodge to around Taskis there. We've actually distributed our academic papers. We've photocopied our academic papers to an extent that the small money that I had, the 100 shillings, imeshaisha kabisa. So I have nothing again that is remaining. Remember, I've been dropping these papers in different hotels, in different places. And that was the reason why, in fact, nilikuwa tayari nimesha sota. I have nothing. And I was asking myself, now what am I going to feed on today? Because makaratasi, pesa zangu zenye nilikuwa nazo zote nimepiga photocopy ya makaratasi. So I reached at a point around Kware. In fact, with this group of friends that I had, they left me because they gave up along the way. So after giving up along the way, I remained alone and I continued my journey. Now, nimebaki peke yangu, nimetembea sasa, nimeamua kumalizia the process alone. Now, I reached at Sironi Place, around Kware there. At Sironi Place, I saw the hotel. It was so big, you cannot even imagine that you can get an opportunity there. So something inside me pushed me to go for that, to just get into that hotel to look for a job. Kwa hivyo nikaingia pale Sironi Place, nikaingia ndani. Then I met the chef. I still remember this guy. He was called Wanjala. This guy came. He asked me what I was looking for. Kamwambia natafuta kazi jameni. Then he asked me, what kind of a job are you looking for? I said, any job. Kazi yoyote mimi nitafurahia na naweza fanya. Something that I can use to get an income. So regardless of the job, whether it is smart job, whether it's not, I just need a job here. I can even clean. And I remember very well showing him, I can even clean this place. So this guy, good luck, he told me, do you have any paper? Then I remember very well, I had distributed my papers in different hotels, in different places within Rongai. So already sikuwa na pesa hata ya kufanya photocopy. Then I asked him, unataka makaratasi gani labda? He told me, what I need is just an application letter. Just write an application letter. I didn't have even the money to buy the full scope to write the application letter. The only thing that I did, I went downstairs. I looked for a guy there in the cyber. Then this guy, he helped me with one full scope, just single full scope. Then I borrowed even with a pen and I wrote my application letter. Then immediately I dropped the application letter to the chef. Thank God the chef accepted me and he told me I was going to work as a steward at Sironi Place in the kitchen department. Now I started there now. That is how my hustle began. Now there, while doing the stewardship, it is about you make the kitchen to be clean, you wash the utensils, you wash the sufurias, you wash the pans, just making the kitchen to be clean and making the job easy for the chef, for the cooks, and for any other person who is in the department of the kitchen, in the kitchen department. And so another thing that I was doing by that time, it was actually making sure that the Irish potatoes are ready to prepare chips, and making sure that the bags of Irish potatoes, they've been brought from the store to the kitchen, ready to serve the clients. That was what I was doing basically. While at Sironi Place, now I've just gotten my job. I've started working there with more activeness, and I was really eager to get this job na nimeshaipata. So I was working so well here. I worked there for a duration of 3 months with a salary of 7,000. This was good because it was my money and I was really enjoying it because this was my money. And I used this money to pay the bills in the house, to cater for some school requirements, and that was so good on my side. And I helped my parents at least to relieve them in terms of bills. Now, this was the first hustle in the first semester, in the first year. Now, when I went to the second year again, I went to for the long holiday. Again, I had to look for a job. This mentality of other students, immediately you are done with your first year or the second year, now you're going for the long holiday, then you rush home. You want to go and spend time with your mother. You want to go and spend time with your father in the village. You start hanging around. This is something that I learned at this particular time. Remember, my colleagues have gone home. They're at home. They're there with their parents. Frustration. So the parent is asking, I took my child to the university, but now he's here with me. Every time requesting this, requesting that. You entirely depend on your parent, which is not a good thing. And this is what encouraged me to do something unique from other students who've been doing that for a long duration. Remember, when you're used to going home every time you go for a long holiday, immediately you graduate, you'll go back home. You'll stay there with your parents. Now, in the world of today, opportunities, are these opportunities going to look for you? You need to look for these opportunities. You cannot look for these opportunities when you're in a comfort zone back at home with your parent. And this is what motivated me to do different hustles, to make my money, to make my life better, and to stop depending on my parents. You as parent, you also need to understand at this moment that as a parent, you don't need to provide everything that your child needs. At what point is this child going to understand that now I'm supposed to do some particular things on myself for my own good, for my own pleasure, and also for my own development? At what point? If you are that parent who has a tendency of providing everything that your child is requesting you provide, there's a high probability you're wasting this child in the long run. Now, immediately I got into the second year, I went again for the second hustle. The second hustle, I looked for a job in Rongai, not even looking for a specific job in regards to my professional description. I went to look for a job, for a security job. In this security job, life was not that comfortable. I did my security job at a club. The club here in Rongai, it's called Hornbill. I worked in Hornbill as a security guard. When I was at Hornbill as a security guard, I worked so well. I met people of different calibers, people of different status. And here, it gave me another experience in life. Meeting people who behave differently, meeting people who are doing different jobs. It gave me that opportunity to understand how these people carry themselves and how they carry the life of others. Like a good example here, the life of the security personnel. And to be more specific, we call them the watchmen. Now, at this moment in time, I worked there, I got the experience, I interacted with these people, and I realized there's a way they look at these guys to be so illiterate. People can't even speak English. People can't even write. That is how they were perceiving each one of us. But for me, remember, by that time, I was a student at the university. Beside being a student, I decided to do that job in order to get an income to make my life better in the university. That was the second hustle I did in the second year. I moved again to the third year. The third year, again I did the security job again with the same company. I went there and they gave me a job. And here, I was now taken to a school to be a security guard in a school. I worked in Olerai. I worked in Ongata Academy. And here the experience was totally different. Remember, I'm a teacher by profession. I'm a special teacher by profession. But I'm doing all these things to learn more about life, to learn how people are behaving, to learn how you can do different things to make yourself or to make your life better and better, and stop crying every time the way we always do. Now at Ongata Academy, I worked there again for 3 months. Then I went back to school. Now, immediately I finished my third year semester, the first semester and the second semester, I went for a long holiday. And this is where I thought about what else can I do? What else can I do apart from I've been in the hotel industry, I've been in the security industry. Now, what else can I do apart from that? Now, I immediately went for to work with the Ole-Kasasi sewage company. I was based here in Ole-Kasasi. While there, I used to get a salary of 9,500 every month. And here I learned something that also I came to realize that while I was working with this Ole-Kasasi sewage company under the Kajiado County, I realized how patients work better for people, more so if you want to achieve something in life. And so, when I was working here, I put everything before God. Remember, all the places that I've worked, all the areas that I've worked, I realized something. The secret here was about paying tithe with the little thing that you're getting, the little income that you're getting. The paramount thing that you need to do is paying tithe. Paying tithe is paramount. You don't even need to negotiate about that. Because through this payment of these taxes, tithe, this is when now you come to realize that now God is leading your way. Putting God first in every hustle. Putting God first in everything that you do. While I was hustling like this, I put God first. Now, at Ole-Kasasi, my job actually used to start at around 6 in the evening. And here I was operating the borehole, making sure the lines are working well, people are getting water. And remember, I was still doing my education. Now, after this point, after now working here, now I got to, now I went to my 4th year. That was my final year in the university. And in my final year in the university, I was still doing the same job of Ole-Kasasi because I saw it was much easier for me to do this job because it was not that demanding. So I continued with the job to get an income. I worked there for a duration of 1 year. Now, while I was working there, I got an opportunity from my friend. My friend told me that there's an opportunity in a special school somewhere in Kandisi, in Ongata Rongai, that they're hiring people, they're hiring teachers. Why can't you try your luck? Now, a friend of mine whom we've been friends in the university, but we are not talking much, and that's the reason why I come to realize the power of having friendship, having friends within the institution, how you interact with the different people. Those people can either build you or they can break you in life. And this is the point where now I realized that a friend of mine remembered me out of so many people. He remembered me by telling me there was an opportunity somewhere, and she encouraged me to go for that opportunity. And that is how my journey at Orione Community Training Center starts. Now, I remember vividly coming at Orione Community Training Center with the purpose of doing something that now I went to the university to do. Remember, all these years I was hustling, doing those jobs, but those were not my professional jobs. But now, this moment in time, this lady, she realized that I was still here in Rongai because that was my tendency, and the opportunity was in Rongai. Another thing that she used to pick me is that she realized that other students, they were not within Rongai. They've gone home as usual. But for me, it was a different case. She realized that I was still in Rongai and I was hustling in Rongai. And that's the reason why she said, Steve is the best person to come for this opportunity. Here I came at Orione Community Training Center to look for the job like any other person looking for a job. I was shortlisted and therefore I came for the interview. While at the institution, I met so many people. These guys, they had an experience in this field of special need education to deal with children or people, youth with intellectual disability. For me, I had no experience because I was just fresh from the university. I had not yet graduated. The only paper that I had to prove that I was in the university, it was the transcript. And this is the reason why I want to take this opportunity to encourage you. When I came here in this institution, they saw potential in me. Out of more than 50 people who had applied for this job, I realized that I was among the few who were chosen. And that's the reason why I got this opportunity here as a special need teacher at Orione Community Training Center. While working here, I continued working with the education. I remember very well fasting for this opportunity, presenting my case before God, and that is the reason why I had a breakthrough. Favor and blessing followed me when I started working here in the institution. God was on my way, and I continued with the same spirit of paying tithe. And the moment I used to do that, the moment God manifested himself in different ways in my life. I remember moving from one office to another, one position to another within the institution. Remember, I'm a teacher, and I didn't present my certificate, but I presented my transcript that qualified me to be among those who are chosen. Not because I was the best, but it's because I had the confidence, I had the potential, and I was ready to do the job. And the director said, I want to work with you. When I started working now as a special teacher, I was still humble. I was still patient. I was still in realization that God is in control of everything. Working here was a blessing, and now my chapter of life begins from this point. Now, if God has planned something for you, regardless of where you're coming from, the family where you're coming from, the darkest part of your life that you faced, if God has a good plan for you, it will come to happen. Never be discouraged. Continue pushing. Don't choose jobs, but be dedicated in anything that you do. There is where you're going to get the opportunity now to handle what you've learned to do. When at the institution, I realized that there were so many people who came for the job, but very few were chosen. And here is where I'm saying the power of being fervent and being blessed by the hands of God. I started working here, and the journey, it was really of help, and it was full of lessons. I worked as a teacher. After a very short duration, I was promoted to be the one handling or coordinating the payment of school fees from the parents. Now, after that time, I continued working well. I continued dedicating this job before God. I continued trusting in God for the protection, for the guidance in every step that I make in this office. Now, the another opportunity that I was promoted again to handle, it was about being the supervisor of all the security guards in the institution. And this took me back to the whole process that was happening, all the process that I went through. Is this when now God communicated to me, what you are doing, it was not only meant to help you survive, but it was also preparing you for a great opportunity other than what you are doing by that particular time. Who could have known that the job that I was doing as a security man will later qualify me to be the supervisor, to lead a group of more than 4 people as security guards, as a supervisor. Nobody can tell that. And it's because of these hustles. I'm not only a teacher, but I did something extra that qualified me to be the supervisor. Again, after a short duration, working as a supervisor, because I was bringing something unique in the institution, some skills, security skills, not just a teacher, but security skills in the institution to make this institution more secure with a different security approach. Again, I moved to another position, and here it's because of my good job that the director saw in me, that he kept on moving me from one position to another. Now, this position that I want to share with you, it caught people. People are so surprised. Even the colleagues that I was working with them, even my friends, they were so surprised. It's because of the power of God, the power of favor, the power of being blessed, the power of paying tithe. What God can do with that little that you're paying, that little that you're paying in the name of tithe. So here, the director was looking for the head of the institution, the head teacher in short. And at this moment in time, remember, I was still young, not that experienced much. I saw that opportunity. I cannot go for the opportunity to be the head teacher of the institution. Little did I know that our director was putting trust in my job, and he saw that I was the best person to handle or to be in that office. And therefore, he encouraged me to apply like any other person who applied. And I applied, and I went for that interview. But I said in this interview, if God has prepared you for this job, you will get the job. If God indeed, He wants to bless you with this job, you will get the job. But if that is not your point, that is not your time, you will wait for your time to come. And that is why I'm saying the power of being patient in everything that you do. There come a time, God will bless you with that little that you are doing. So here I went for the interview, and thank God I qualified, and I was picked to be the head teacher of this prestigious international organization that is dealing with the children with intellectual disability here in Kenya. It's under the Catholic Church, and it's not only based here in Kenya, but it's based in different countries, including Europe, America, and Latin America. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I want to encourage you, you as a student, you as a casual worker, you as a person who is trying to make ends meet. I want to encourage you, all is not lost. Trust the process. You never know what you're doing right now, how it can turn out to be in the next year or in some years to come. As a student, kindly, I want to tell you this. Don't depend on your parent for everything. Please do something that will make you understand and interpret life differently in preparation for the greater opportunities in life. The last thing that I want to tell you, self-confidence in every place you go. regardless of your status, regardless of your situation, regardless of your family where you're coming from. Take it easy. Patient pace. With those weaknesses, now you need Jesus to help you. Don't consider yourself that you know everything. You don't know everything. But if you put God first, everything will go on well as expected. And I thank God at the moment, I want to take the institution to a higher level as the head teacher of the institution. Thank you so much, and I believe I've touched your heart. I believe there's something that you've learned throughout this process, throughout this story. Thank you, and thank you so much.